and he's tested positive.
So it's Norman Kochnick here. We've been joined live with Motion Shake. Say hello, Motion.
Hey mate, how are you?
And now, Sebastian, I'm not late. For God's sake, it's my show. I'm not late. What is this?
Well, that tells you, Norman, that your audience rates.
Well, I was just talking just then, literally just then, with Nalakshi De Silva, the Sri Lankan women's all-rounder, and hopefully after the show, Harshantila Karatna. And I'll tell you more about that. He wants to play in Australia. Not play, sorry, coach in Australia for a period of time, because it's very obvious that a lot of teams want exposure to Australian coaching, high performance, training, conditions, competitiveness, the whole gamut, because they just don't get it. And I think it was very interesting. I heard Glenn Maxwell talk about playing in Sri Lanka. He said no Sheffield Shield game ever provides that amount of so-called reality.
And the thing is, if you heard about Nathan Lyon talking to Rangana Herat, and he's talking to him about bowling at subcontinent pace, the consistency, the flight that he needs to bowl, and he said that that was so valuable that they don't get it in Australia. And that's what we've been talking about, Swepson bowling in subcontinent at different pace. And Herat was talking to Nathan Lyon about the pace that he needs to bowl, and his improvement. If you see the stats, he was averaging 60, and then post the conversation that he's had with Herat, he's been averaging.
It's amazing.
It's amazing the value that the guys that add from subcontinent coming here is unbelievable.
Talking about amazing, Garam Marani, what are you doing? You normally make these incredibly long comments. Now you're on the show.
You're on the show now.
I thought I joined the show last time from the Philippines, Norman, because tomorrow me and my family are shifting to Indonesia. So I thought maybe I have the last login from Philippines. So that was the idea of the show.
Is job taking you there, Ram, or is it business, or?
Pardon, Mohsen, can you repeat?
What's making the move? Is that your new job, business, family?
Yeah, I got a new job, so shifting for a new job.
Congratulations.
What, chief cricket correspondent for Eyes on Cricket? Is that your new job?
But we are having an exciting test match for sure, Norman.
That is for sure.
Oh, look. I think firstly, this match. I just love the way that Bairstow and Stokes, Mitchell and Blundell, the way they're batting and bowling. It's just been broad bowling. It's been magnificent.
Absolutely. And yet again, we've got the two guys who've done the partnerships in the game are at the crease to start the day off.
Incredible.
How good.
Now, just quickly, just going to about India at the moment. Bumrah might be captain, we're hearing, because obviously Rohit Sharma's tested positive. Rahul's injured. Norman Kochner's not available, so we're going to get to somebody.
Yeah, but you look at the point, Norman, that something or the other every time is happening with Rohit. Either he's injured or either there's COVID, or if you see over the last 2 years, like his availability has been less than 50% for India.
Yeah, look, Rohit Sharma is a bit of a chubby person, let's be honest. I hate to be rude. He's not really the fittest of guys. Now, I don't mean it's a fitness line, it's also due to his, bad luck with various viruses. But it does look like he's susceptible injury too often. But Bumrah is that's strange. I don't get that.
He's the vice captain, right? For the test. So obviously, he would become the captain.
Yeah, you still probably would go with.
Well, look. I'm still coming to terms with Pat Cummins, very honest with you. And for Bumrah to be captain, there's something not right there. I don't get it.
Fast bowlers have not been successful captains, and that's the stat.
Okay, so we've also got Ben Folks.
I was most probably thinking that Pant would end up with the captainship, or maybe worst case KL, or maybe a one-off. Give it to Virat Kohli. But yeah, making Bumrah the captain is surprising.
Shreyas Iyer is also on the squad.
Yeah.
He'd be a worthy captaincy potential as well, especially long term. So Ben Folks is tested positive. So he left the field yesterday, and he's not based on injury. He's feeling sick.
Yeah, he was sick yesterday. That's why he didn't take the field. And Brayshaw took the gloves, and now he's tested positive. So his participation any further in this test match is probably done.
That's interesting. I was just trying to edit mic. Echo cancellation. Interesting, because I had on my side the ability to get rid of echo.
Yeah, there's a bit of control.
Work. Edit. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Baram, can you hear me?
I have an echo, but you're audible. At least I can make out what you're saying. In case of Mohsin, it's a very low voice. Like the volume is very low. I can barely hear him.
Yeah. I don't know what I've got. I'll get it back on. Hang on. Just playing a few little scripts here. Is that better?
Hello,
The echo
can you
is-
hear me, Grant?
I can hear Mosley. I can hear
I
Mosley.
to Mohsin, yes, but it's like the volume of Norman compared to volume of you. There's a huge difference.
I'll try and be as loud as possible.
Okay.
All right, now we're going to have some private chat here. Billy Mosley. Okay, all right. How about we just keep going, and sometimes it rectifies itself, I suppose, which is good. Okay.
But I don't understand one thing, Norman. If Rohit Sharma tested positive for COVID, he played the match. Means he batted, he interacted with so many. So now, right now, there's no rule of quarantining the close contacts because that was used to happen before, right?
Yeah, true.
No, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, the close contact rule has changed. You have to be with that person for 24 hours together to be considered as a close contact.
Or who knows, maybe couple or three more cases, and we might have this test match again next year.
Well, Steve just said that. Now that's wrong. It's no longer the close contact rule. So same with England. In fact, England's the most lax on their road process.
If this was Australia, you can say that there would be a lot of trouble. There would be a lot of hue and cry about testing positive in the camp and whatnot. But with the close contact rules changed, the partner, the missus, would be in trouble, but the teammates probably not.
So look, it's such in series. England has been magnificent. See someone like Mitchell score that record number of runs, 3 centuries on his way to a 4, but not win a match. Incredible.
Well, test matches that way, Norman. Like you remember last time we spoke about Ajaz Patel taking 10 wickets in the innings, but still ending up in the losing side. Like what more do you want?
Yeah, that's true.
That really shows that cricket is a real team game. It's not an individual person's game.
Very true.
Baram, you're coming out with these absolute sounds. You must have. What's going on here? It's sounding brilliant. Okay. New Zealand will depend on if we know that. Bubbles come back to no point. It's not going to see. We're going to have to suck it and see.
We've seen a little bit of rise lately in the cases. I would hate to see the bubble coming in. It is very hard for players and sports staff. I've dealt with the last 3 years with sixes. It is not fun. It is just ridiculous. Players don't enjoy the game in bubble, and it's no fun. I know as an individual you want it.
Yeah, I've spent most of the day. Well, it's not a bubble. Cleaning up my mother's place and opening up old, beautiful Oraton bags from 30 years ago for the first time in 30 years. This puff of gas came out of the bag.
Oh wow.
Did you find some treasure from your mother, Norman? Some old company
No,
stocks or something that
found
she bought?
everything else, but I found
Right now.
jewelry. Found it's all next to me here. Chanel.
Did you check the coffee cans? Usually that's where they used to put money in back the old days.
Then a photo of my mother and father getting married.
That's beautiful.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It was because of that we got you.
no. If they had me when that photo was taken, I'd be a lot bloody older. I tell you. I was a late comer compared to them.
And what's your views on the T20 match coming up? Ireland versus India and also where the West Indies Bangladesh Test match is going.
Well, Ireland, England. So Ireland, India. Well, Ireland, you never know what you're going to get. The real box of chocolate. They got Sterling, who's about 95 in age. He's been around for years. And Maldehyde, which is not maldehyde, maldehyde, which is different. Maldehyde's a bad poison. But
Norman, your echo is getting bad and bad. Just to let you know.
But Baran, put your volume off a minute. See what happens. See, I don't get any echo now. You do actually. I don't know why. Why am I getting an echo?
I don't know. Some system have you changed of yours? Something you've done because before never this.
I'm actually working from an iPad as opposed to an iPhone. Maybe that's what.
Probably.
All right. Well, we'll do next. Right. Well, I'm hearing a gas sound. Is that where you are, Baran? You got like
A lot of wind noise.
Not near me.
Or you're not. Baran, you haven't got flatulence.
I'm in a restaurant waiting for my how can you say my high tea, my tea and some snacks.
Oh, don't talk about food, please. Please, I've had. What else food I've been having? Digestive fins. They're not thin at all. They still make you fat.
You got to get rid of these cookies.
Well, come here and help me then for God's sake. Where are my bloody cookies?
You can't. You love
They
those.
come out of they find me. I don't find them. They find me.
So you have stopped from Tim Tams. You have gone to digestive foods.
He thinks that they're healthy. They're not.
They're not. The word thin was on it, but they're not thin.
They're not healthy. Anyways, going back to Test cricket, I think the Bangladesh and West Indies Test match, I'm quite interested. I think it is going well for West Indies, winning. Well, they're in a position. They're doing well in the second Test match. They've done well in the first one. I like West Indies winning Test matches because it's good for cricket overall.
Oh,
Because they're getting labelled as white ball cricket team and not doing well in red ball, where they've done well against England and now they're doing well against Bangladesh. So yeah, enjoy your team, Ed. Oh, look at that, perfect, nice colour.
I'm getting hungry from tea. I shouldn't be getting hungry from tea, but I am.
Okay, guys, my tea and food is here, so I'll log off and I'll enjoy the show. Bye bye.
We'll see you back.
You're going.
Yeah, I won't be able to talk with the food over here. See I'll show you my food.
Okay.
Food has
Oh my God! Stop it! It's a masala dosa. Oh no!
You're kidding.
I love masala dosa.
Okay, bye guys.
Ciao. It's actually better. I think
it was because he was outdoors. I think that's probably why. But
yeah,
anyway, and Subhash, you have a very valid point. He needs to be worrying about himself, stopping eating those sweet biscuits and cookies.
All right. That's it. I'm going to go running after this video. I'm going to go run some.
Post the video of you running.
I need someone to run after. That's more important. So interesting. I'm trying to get, David Moore, don't you?
Yeah.
David's fantastic. I like him a lot.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
He's a great person for all this. So, all right. Back to this. England, to me, just seem to be. They don't care what they're up against. They're going to come back with a wet sail.
And that's the thing. The target has to be bigger because New Zealand are only 3 pace attack. They've got a couple of part-timers. They've got 3 bowlers. 2 of them have bowled over 20 overs in first innings as well. So you got to remember, New Zealand have got to do hard work in order to get a target set for England, because England will come hard. They will not come chasing the target in singles and whatnot. They'll attack New Zealand bowlers. They'll try and get as many boundaries as they can. With that, they'll tire the pace attack with them. So New Zealand will probably need another 150 before they can actually start thinking about winning, because they're too far behind.
Well, the 2 that are in bat now, Mitchell and Blundell, are the 2 that can do that for them.
True, but that's a worry. If early doors, well, any of them gets out, it opens up a bit of a gate for England, and they'll polish it off. They'll see an opportunity, they'll seize it.
Mind you, Latham got 70 odd, and Williamson got 48. So they've been contributions already outside of those 2. These guys have just got mixed. So as long as they continue to bat, you would argue that they have a pretty good chance. I know this girl who was petite, like 50 kilos, is now claiming she's 100 kilos. I think she's doing.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Let's have a look here. To me, they're giving New Zealand quite a bit of flack. New Zealand playing in England have done pretty well. They've made a fist of this, haven't they? Really, they have. And they had no luck as well. New Zealand never had luck.
No. Well, sometimes you drive your own luck. New Zealand had England on toast. 5 for 56 is a really good setup. And then they allowed the number 6 and 7 to score that big partnership. So, look, I don't think this Test match New Zealand's been unlucky. I think England formed their own luck. They'll continue to attack. They continue to attack, and someone paid off. And that's how they are ahead of the game at this point in time. I would say, even though you've got your 2 best batters in for New Zealand for this series, but still England have got their nose well in front, because they get 1 wicket, they'll get into the tail really quickly, and that's what my worry is. If England is chasing 200, 220, probably not enough.
No. Now, just back to Ben Stokes for a minute. He is being replaced by Sam Billings. Now, I'm just a bit confused. I thought he maybe replaced it as an injury. And COVID's not deemed to be an injury.
COVID protocols came in last year, Norman, and that said if you tested positive during the test match, the injury rules will apply, just because of the health issues and whatnot. So it's good that they've allowed the substitution.
So they called it what do they call it? They call it back stiffness. Until they first excused it before they worked out
the first excuse was back, but then overnight news from England camp is that he's positive. So interesting thing would be whether Sam Billing will take the gloves or Bairstow will take the gloves.
Well, actually, Billing has to take the gloves, I would have thought, because it's a like-for-like replacement. The person has to actually undertake that job. And I'm sure Bairstow will be happy with that.
Bairstow will be happy. I think so. I think that Billings is quite capable of quite capable keeper. He's done that for a long time in white ball cricket now for England, so I'd say that he should.
Okay, I've got some updates here. Barams enjoyable. Any update on the big old? They haven't said much other than that it's going to happen.
The most likely draft date is going to be announced shortly, but they haven't announced it as yet, so we're waiting because I think they want to complete the player registration period now, which is open. So a lot of agents and whatnot in contact with clubs, and they've made Trent Woodhill as a main contact for Cricket Australia. So he is the main contact for CA, where all the agents can do first contact and register an international player. And then I think CA is keen to announce the date for the draft, and there's 3 rounds, as you know, with the weighted average, what do you call it, where the teams finish.
Platinum gold.
Yeah. So then with that, I know the Sixers will get second last pick in the first round. Well, I'm just trying to get some more clarity on from my side that how retention policy is going, because you can keep one overseas player. That's the retention that you can have. Whether you retain him in the top category or middle category or the bottom category, you don't know. I don't know yet. But that's what's happening.
Well, let's hope it creates more energy and more increased interest in playing, because it certainly waned.
My only worry is, Norman, that same time in UAE there's a new league starting, which is started by the Indian businessmen. There's Knight Riders have got a team there. Rajasthan Royals have got a team there as well, and there's a joint ownership in from Delhi. So my worry is if they're throwing big money in subcontinent or in Middle East with lesser time, more money, more flexibility than Australia, that will attract a lot of players to go to Middle East or Dubai. Whereas here you've got serious Pakistan and New England will finish in time and before Christmas, so then a lot of English players will be available, Pakistani players will be available. Obviously Indian players don't play any other league. Then you got Sri Lankans and some West Indians will be available. But then again, it depends who's throwing big money.
I'm afraid it comes down to pure and simple.
Absolutely.
And I think Cricket Australia has to start to throw more money out, because they're undoubtedly losing track.
And there's less tax in Middle East than Australia. You pay higher tax when you're playing here for the overseas players. You know, you pay hardly any tax when you're playing in Dubai. So it's no brainer for a player welfare perspective. Shorter tournament, more money and quick turnaround.
Yes, it's very interesting. Okay. History created. Madhya Pradesh won the maiden Trophy from their history. That's pretty impressive. I did read that. New Zealand never successfully playing pitches, but partly true. More than Middle Asia. I want to go rocking test. I'm not going to guarantee that. Who's going to captain anyway? I think higher.
Yeah, I believe Iyer would have been better choice, but they've got Bumrah as vice captain. History tells me that fast bowlers have never been very successful captains, especially subcontinent. Kapil Dev was an all-rounder. People say Kapil Dev was a fast bowler. He was an all-rounder. He was successful, but he lasted only a short period of time, and he gave up his captaincy because he wanted to concentrate on his own game. So history tells me that the Quicks have never been a very successful captain.
And another important thing here is that just because you're vice captain doesn't mean you're necessarily going to become. No. You can be keepers are very often vice captain without being captain.
True.
So I don't think it should be an automatic choice. And it disturbs me because it's happened to Cummins, now somewhat with Bumrah, that there's this belief that they're going to become captain, and I disagree with that wholeheartedly.
I agree. Yeah.
They're making some. It's coaching 101. That a vice captain has a role to play does not mean they'll be temporarily in the midst of a match. Yes, they're only executing what they've done anyway.
Yeah.
So they're
They've
not.
got so many things to worry about as a fast bowler. Your own game, changes, field placings. Whereas someone who's away from that, he's got a better view of the game while he's in the field, and that's why I think a person who's got lesser responsibility in terms of bowling as well, he's got better grasp of what's going, what direction. I know sports staff do have a lot of say from off field, but still on field decisions sometimes you get caught up with your own game and whatnot, and that's why. Especially bowlers, spinners are different, but especially fast bowlers, they do get caught up in a lot of things, and they've got a lot of decisions to make. So I think a batter or a keeper, a better choice.
Again, the captain's off the field, executes what the captain wanted to do, not his own input or twist on the match. He generally follows through what he's been told prior to or during the match and doesn't change. He just happens to be there to do it rather than the captain. That's it. A vice captain really doesn't have independent thought. He really does execute what the captain wanted. He can add or suggest, but the captain makes the decision.
True.
That's the way it should be.
That is exactly right.
The New Zealand band what? New Zealand band is haven't heard that. What's up, Salam?
Bangladesh and Pakistan tri-series, so that's what they.
Okay. Hello, Ahmed. Why everyone's telling the bubble's tough and all? No, it is tough, big time. Rohit Sharma is an ingenious captain. Well, certainly for Mumbai he was. David Warner, time captaincy going to looks like it will.
I have a feeling it will be lifted, but whether that will have any effect, whether he will go back to New South Wales and captain, or whether he will captain Australia, I doubt it.
Yeah, I doubt it. It won't happen. Direct hit. As soon as you mentioned it, I was echoing. It stopped.
It did.
Hello, we've got Munchie joining us from England.
There you go.
Munchie, is it doing it now? I don't think so.
No, I can't hear any feedback now. It was. No. Now it's gone yet.
I think when the clouds are parted, the what do they call it? Moses is part of the waves. Now, Munchie, have you just woken up? I bet you have. Well, it was about 9:30 where you are, or 10:30 actually.
That's a late wake up.
I did invite David Graveney. He loves coming on, he said, but he's just not available.
Great value.
Oh, I mean, the man has been the selector for the England side for a truckload of days.
Great value.
No, all good. Munchie, yes or no? You want to join us? He should be there to gloat. Richard Vernon should be here to gloat. Tell us whether you want to join, because I'll send you the link if I find it. I just love Ben Stokes' gloves. Ben Stokes' gloves are they're gems, aren't they?
You want one of them?
Under the weather, mate. Cold or COVID wedding. See what happens. So, Munchie, have you been spending time with Ben Folks? Is that what? Or are you over with Rohit Sharma? How come everybody's getting COVID?
It is.
What is COVID?
The rate is getting higher. Have you followed the news lately? COVID's in Australia, we're experiencing an increase in flu symptoms, not necessarily COVID. So who knows? Now live with this. It's just there.
Yeah, I'm getting sick of it. I think we're getting to the point where people should, you could literally play the game. If you've got flu-like symptoms, you just put a few tablets in the off you go. What is the problem with Ramesh? Everybody's talking about Ramesh Rajul. Is he doing something wrong?
He wants to get players into IPL, in the Indian IPL and whatnot. Look, I personally, my personal view on Pakistani players playing in Indian Cricket League would be excellent. And I made that comment earlier that it would have been great opportunity. Imagine Shaheen Shah Afridi bowling to Kohli in IPL, or Babar Azam batting together with Kohli would have been great. So,
Everybody knows that. That's what it's such a travesty.
Fantastic. It would be fantastic for viewers, especially now you've got how much billions have gone into viewership deals and whatnot. Imagine topping that up with that kind of flavor into it. But again,
but let me just make something clear. I don't blame India not letting go of their players. Why? Because they're getting paid an absolute truckload. And let's be honest, it could ruin all the effort they put into that. So I get that. But not allowing Pakistan players in, PSL on the same boat. They are now merging with a very big club. It's the second biggest IPL version of it, isn't it?
Yes.
So let them both go. Flood them to the point. What I would like to see happen is the PSL winner and the IPL winner.
That Super League concept that Lalit Modi initially had, that Super League concept where he had Australian League winner, Indian League winner, South African League winner, and English League winner to play a Super League. That would have been fantastic. You have a PSL winner, Big Bash winner, your South African League winner, Blast winner. It'd be excellent. A week-long tournament doesn't have to be long. It just could be 10 days long tournament.
I love it.
And it would be fantastic. Yeah.
We're getting a lot of Sri Lanka. Tanuja Pereira, Mohammed, Hari Hyundai. Norman is second for us. Stop telling me. Just listen. What do you make most looking forward in the island? Well, the first time India's played Ireland in a test match, in a T20 match. In Ireland.
In Ireland, yeah. There'll be a lot of Indian crowd. That's what I'm looking forward to. They reckon there'll be 80% Indian crowd compared to a 20% Ireland. I think India they will have a walkover, but, a good experience for Irish players.
Absolutely. Although Ireland beat England that time, I'll never forget that. That was at Lords, wasn't it? Okay. Norman, I think Finch is going to retire. Would you get off Aaron Finch to Bash?
If he doesn't retire, he'll be dropped.
Yeah, but at the moment, he's front and centre of the captain of the World Cup.
He's leading.
He's got the team. Cummins can Australia. So when we can captain England, what logic is this? Well, Stokes is actually a batter now.
My point again is Stokes is an all-rounder, and all-rounders traditionally have captained. Cummins, I don't support being captain. Norman and I have spoken in length about Cummins being captain. He's in the same boat as Bumrah. Fast bowlers have got a lot of things on, especially when they are in their spell, when they're bowling, they're back in the fine leg position. There's lots happening when a quick bowler is bowling. Batsmen have got different mindset. Strokes, for instance. Kapil Dev, for instance. Imran Khan, for instance. Ian Botham.
But Imran Khan was a batting all-rounder, I would argue.
Yeah, true.
Stokes is clearly a batting all-rounder.
Imran Khan has got over 250 test wickets as well. It's not just saying that Kapil Dev was a good all-rounder. He was good with bat and ball, both equally. He was fantastic. He single-handedly won the World Cup for India in 1983. So I'm saying that the guys who've got a batting capacity in that frame of mind, they've got lots to offer, and I support an all-rounder being the captain. But I personally, I still think Cummins is a bad choice as a captain. Bumrah.
I totally agree. Just a step back. Ben Stokes and Ian Botham. Listen to this. Ben Stokes has got well past. He's actually got more test runs than Botham in his career already. But both of them had around 83 test wickets as opposed to Stokes with 200 odd. But Ben Stokes was a better captain than I believe Ian Botham was.
Absolutely.
So that's because the way they play. And then freedom to play. Ben Stokes is reveling as playing well.
And I'll give you another example. Freddie Flintoff, he was a bowling all-rounder. He was more of a bowler. He was never successful as a captain. Even England have got tradition of making all-rounders there. Bob Willis was never a good captain. And also, if you look at the teams around Wasim Akram, he was decent captain, but he was not a good captain. He wasn't successful captain. He did a couple of good series, he won a few games, but he was never a good captain.
Munchie says what the same winning players. Munchie, well, they can't jump fences. I mean, apparently, Pujara batted and bowled and whatever he faced different teams, and Bumrah batted on both. That was just a trial match. That won't be a problem.
No.
Thank you. Okay. So India play against Pakistan. We know that. So needs to look built from Scotland. I agree. We are a bit weak. When you Ben Sebastian and Himanshu both love Tim David.
Yeah, look, Tim David has made his name around the newspapers and news and whatnot. So I wouldn't blame that.
I actually think that Tim David won't play for Australia. I don't know why I'm saying that, but
sooner or later he will, because there's a lot of press and a lot of media attention that he's getting, and he's backing that up with a lot of runs everywhere. He started PSL, he's done in India, he's doing it in England. I think he's getting a lot of pressure from his bat. So I think sooner or later he will.
Buckled asked him about Gujar football cricketer. Well, let's hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does. Remember the 2 meter tall left-arm quick from Pakistan. He made a good impact, but he started late, so that's why he wasn't very athletic. He's still playing in domestic cricket, so I'd like to get him in.
Stokes is listening to beat. Agree. Any player, we know that. Cummins is a brilliant star captain. I wouldn't go that far. Sorry.
He's got to be proven.
Yep. Imagine Australia and England in the final of the 2020 World Cup, and Tim David is on strike and here we go. Himanshu, I think Archer's not going to play.
I think it is a probability, but I think given Tim David, he likes pace on the ball. He will probably get a couple of strikes in, but I think Archer will get him.
Okay, Himanshu, we're going to hold you to this. Let's see if it happens. You're going to remind us, I'm sure. Buckle Dad, he likes you.
Look, I like Hassan. The next lot of battery is not much at the moment in domestic cricket. You still got Haris Rauf to make debut in Test cricket. You still got Naseem Shah is tackling with his fitness and whatnot, and there's not a lot behind this lot. These 4 or 5 bowlers, like Hassan Ali is struggling both with red ball and white ball, and I'm worried how much they're going to carry him over past the Sri Lanka Test series. He's in the squad, but look, he's not impressing. They either got to go back with Abbas, like a seamer who can just hit the seam and wobble the ball both ways, which is more effective in Test cricket, like Mohammad Asif was. But whereas Hassan Ali is not answering the question. He's been trusted quite a lot, but he's not doing it for me. So, there's Hasnan is there. He's cleared. His action is cleared. So they got to draft him in as well. Haris has got to play Test cricket. So yeah, there's these 2 or 3 guys. They still, I think, will be around the next 4 or 5 years for Test cricket.
No, when Tim David will play for okay. Tim David has played ICC. This is a question.
Yes, he has.
He can still play for Australia.
He still play for Australia. Yeah.
Okay, Ramesh Raja question. Would you agree that I don't think I do agree with you? I don't think he should be in the ODI.
I like Marnus in Test cricket, but I don't think he's the answer for World Cup in one days. I don't think he is.
Who's better? Kaplan and Imran Khan both. Oh, jeez. It had to say Kaplan.
My money was on both of them in Test cricket, or even one day. Both of them end up opening the batting in one days. He was facing the new ball, whereas Kapil and Imran never opened the batting. In Australia World Cup, both of them had a really good World Cup with the bat and ball as well. Like Kapil there was really good middle order and equally good crafty seam bowler as well. So And Imran, in his later career, batted at number 3. So it's a tough question, I think.
But I tell you what, Ben Stokes, both of them's legendary. We know that. There's no doubt. But Ben Stokes is starting to emerge as the next thing to go past both of them.
And I think he will go past Freddie Flintoff. You know, when Freddie started that 2005 Ashes, and he started to do reverse with the ball and batting 6 or 7, he was dominating. I think Ben Stokes is next level from Freddie Flintoff, and that they haven't had that impact all rounder since Freddie retired. They didn't, but Ben Stokes, I think he will be next.
The way that Ben Stokes won that match at Edgbaston was right out of both of them's best book.
True.
Okay, most of what are your thoughts on Mr. Razan? Okay, wait. I can't.
Sohail Khan, I'll just say Sohail Khan is again. I don't think he'll come back. Hamza, I've heard a lot of good things about him, but look, Sohail Khan came here with Pakistan team. I was doing the A series that time, and I did a test match at Gabba, and the guy could not go past day 1. And his hamstrings were done. So I don't know how much work he has done on his fitness and whatnot, but Mir Hamza, I've heard a lot of good things about, so I hope he comes through.
Tabash is talking to Statvic specifically, not us, it looks like. Himanshu, okay. Munchie says both of them's the better batsman and bowler, but Devon Khan are excellent as leaders. I agree with that. Well said. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Much, that's well said. I thought you had COVID. I thought you'd lost your marbles.
He's still struggling.
He hasn't lost his marbles just yet. Well, he has when it comes to backing England against Australia.
Well, he made a comment earlier on that the game is not over, where both Blundell and
Mitchell.
Yeah, both in both batting. But look, 1 wicket, and I think you guys will get through the tail really quickly.
Okay, Mohsen, please don't talk about removing Hassan Ali from Pakistan team. We'll enjoy his bowling in Asia Cup and entire world. Okay, that's a different. Yeah, that's a different story. Norman Flintoff, better bowler than Stocks. Flintoff, yeah. Well, Flintoff was that one over again when Flintoff bowled to Jack's Cullis. Do you remember that over?
Yeah, I do.
That was a sensational over.
Flintoff was he was a bowling all rounder basically, so he could reverse. Yes. And that series that England won, that 2000 Ashes, if you remember, they won it because they could reverse the ball really early as well, and they were really successful. What's the other tall fellow name who got injured and never played? He had
Palmerston.
Oh no, Jones.
Simon Jones.
So Jones, Flintoff, Harmson, they could swing the ball up front, and then they could reverse the ball. So they had Aussie left-handers wrapped around their fingers, and that's where they were successful. So Flintoff was definitely a really good bowler. And Stokes, with fitness issues, I think Flintoff is better bowler.
And March has a love affair with Tim David. He's an unbelievable neck here. Right? But then the biggest worry for me is Munchie's lying in bed. God knows what you're doing there, Munchie. I hope you're doing not what you're thinking. Have you got 2 computers going? The eyes on cricket and the eyes on skirt? There's 2.
Don't give him ideas.
Yeah, let's listen to YouTube. Eyes on skirt with Norman Kochnick. So we all sit there watching skirt. That sounds like I, by the way, never do that. I've got this girl now. Oh, hello. I've got this girl. I'm flirting as we're talking. Isn't it terrible? Well, I am single. I'm divorced. And my mother's passed away, so I'm pretty free these days.
You got more reasons.
I've got every reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need a reason, to be honest with you.
No, you don't.
Kyle Mayers made the mocking Bangkok. Kyle Mayers, he's got double centuries. Looks the goods.
He does.
How much do we know? It's in good form.
I am all in favour of Tim David. I think he will be in the squad, whether he'll get the games or not, but he will be in Aussie squad sooner rather than later.
I just he's not in the squad. Why are we talking about someone who's not even in the squad?
No, I'm saying he will be in Aussie squad sooner rather than later.
Yeah, thank you, Munchie. My mother was a lovely lady. She really had fun with cricketers. My God, she met everybody. Dhoni, Steve Waugh.
How good was that video with that you posted SCG Nets with Dhoni? That is fantastic. That's gold.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And she carried on like a pork chop after. Every time she saw MS Dhoni on TV, she goes, "Oh, there's my friend." He touched my leg. I'm going, "Mum, settle down. He's married, for God's sake." I had to calm her down. She used to. I think the reason why she was 9.5, she used to see men walking past and she'd turn her head around and have a good talk.
Well,
I blame my mother for me perving on women, okay? Because she did it to men.
But she was very attractive lady. The couple of photos that you posted of her young age, she was very attractive lady.
She was a bit of a she was chased. I told her the Jerry Harvey story, who should have given me a Harvey Norman by now. Fancy Jerry Harvey using the name Harvey Norman. I must be somehow related.
That's right. You should claim it.
I reckon I was the long lost son, even though I was already born. Doesn't matter. That doesn't count.
No, I wouldn't go there.
I was the Australian long lost son. Norman, please ask most much you asking.
Who's going to replace Warner and Khawaja in Test cricket? His top 5 young batsmen. Look, I've said, if I count down, I'd say Renshaw, Peterson, then you've got.
They're both Queenslanders. I think it's biased, isn't it?
No, Patterson is New South Wales.
I thought he said Peterson.
No, the KP from New South Wales. Then you've
Good
got Sangar's definitely claiming his stakes, and then I also like Hunt. He's in good form. He's done really well last 2 summers here. So there's few batsmen claiming their stake. I don't think Uzi will be past next Ashes. A couple of years and these guys will be done. Even Steve Smith, I think Steve Smith will be.
He's the first one to go. And Henry has the middle of the batsman will replace him. And Jason Sanger, you haven't forgot Jason?
Of course, I said Sanger. He's up there. So there's few. I don't see Heads lasting long in the middle order either.
No.
Heads, so.
Hey, man, shoot the bastards. Did you hear that? I wasn't just the only one bashing Head.
No, I don't see him lasting long in even Test. He's still talked about in Test cricket, but I don't see him lasting.
Yep, that's very true. The way he approached my mother was absolutely patient.
He comes from humble background. His parenting was very down the ground. He's very, very level-headed person, feet to the ground, and that's why he was very successful in what he did.
Well, his manager was his best school friend. That says a lot, doesn't it?
That's true.
So Henry is not. Henry Hunt's not an opener, is he?
He's open. He's from Canberra as well. He used to open. Then he went to South Australia. He's batting top order as well, but now he's sliding down top middle order because that's where he sees the opening or the opportunity. Similar to Renshaw as well. Now in Shield cricket, he's batting in the middle. So which is one way it's a good thing. You learn a lot of art in batting in the middle and batting with. Batting against spin as well. So that's why he was very successful in Sri Lanka. I like to have another A series in India where you take the squad and keep them rotating in different conditions and see how they perform. So it's good investment, I reckon.
I'm glad that Henry's with some pronunciation. Mike. All right. That's gone over his head. What's next? We're going to talk about? What do you think about the state of origin? Oh, here we go. Jesus. It's starting. It's actually started. We'll wait and see. Himanshu, I'm not a big fan of Josh Philippe. Josh Inglis in his same mode is a better proposition.
Look, Josh Inglis definitely in Test cricket. At this point in time, his one-day cricket is good as well. I'd like Philippi for another couple of years to hang around the Aussie squads, Aussie A squads, and then push his claims. They pushed him too early into Aussie T20, where he was still very loose. So that's why he's got to learn his art of playing long format of cricket. Cam Green, definitely, I back him. He's the next all rounder that Aussies are sticking with instead of Mitch Marsh in Test cricket.
All set. Mosen, you've got a question.
Look, I have absolutely no reason why Pakistan should get drop-in pitches. Drop-in pitches are where places like MCG, Adelaide, where there's a lot of influence from footy. The sporting bodies spend a lot of money into building those stadiums. They have a say. They want grounds to be softer. With the cricket square, as you know, it is deep, it is hard, and it is very injury-prone for footy players. So what they do is they take the hard block out during the winter and replace it with soft grass, and that's prone for less injuries for the footy players. For that, it makes sense. But for Pakistan, places like India, Bangladesh, stadiums are purpose-built. They're not using for anything else but for cricket. They just need decent soil and a good groundsman. The groundsmen in Pakistan are not really educated. I was in Pakistan just recently, and the head curator in Pakistan, he's an ex-first-class cricketer. He's never done anything regarding preparing pitches. He just played. And I was talking to him at the National Cricket Academy. He had no idea about preparing pitches. And he's the head curator for Pakistan. It just does not make sense. It does not make sense. Here in Australia, even if you go to a club grounds, the groundsman is properly educated. He knows what he's doing. So, you know, their task is different to players. So purpose-built stadiums, it doesn't make sense to bring in drop-in pitches. You need to get your groundsmen up to speed, educate them how to make good pitches. That's simple.
Actually, I totally agree. I call it a cheap alternative. I call it not cheating, but I call it an easy way out, a lazy curator's effort to get profit, in my opinion. Not the SCG has been what it has been, and Lords because they keep original pitches hugely important.
Absolutely. And you see the curator who came in from UAE, he was in the ICT Academy. He's the Aussie guy, and he's got pitches prepared in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and he hasn't tried to change the characteristics of those pitches, whereas he's actually produced result-oriented pitches. So you got to keep the character of the local grounds. You can't change the character of, say, for instance, Lahore pitch and try and make it as a Perth. It's never going to work. Even if you bring the soil from Perth and lay it down in Lahore, you're not going to get the same character what the Perth gets. Because even in here, in Australia, you have character for SCG, whereas it's different to MCG, different to Gabba and Perth. You can't change a character of what the stadium plays like, you know. So you can't marry what Australian pitches do. You got to keep your own character. In Australia, if you want to do well, do what India's doing. They come here early, they prepare here early, and that's what they're doing in England. They've gone in England early to try and get a tour game, practice matches, conditions, get used to it. You know, you can't just mirror the same conditions what in Perth is in Lahore. It's never going to happen.
You've hit the magic nail on the head there. India have understood now they need to come early and play the game. So impressed with the way they've approached it. Okay, Sam Curran and Moeen Ali with Munchie.
A lot of people.
I know what the signature is coming from my phone. All right. Okay, so both Sam Curran and Moeen Ali speak highly. Who's next? Comes next? Stark. Look, it's too early to say. We'll hold back on that. We'll drop in pitches with Field Blacks. No, but Steve Smith's age is coming. Cam Green is already there. He certainly is. Smith will play till he's 38. I don't think he will.
I think he will be in the same boat as Michael Clark. Clark gave up early because he speaks about his
Lost his
desire
mojo.
to play. He was emotionally drained, and his desire to play at top level finished. And as soon as he retired from international, he never played a game for New South Wales either. Whereas you see Ponting, when he retired, he played another year for Tassie Tigers. He played 1 year Big Bash as well. So the desire to not compete at that level makes that decision really different. So I don't see Steve Smith playing till 38.
And he's worth $30 or $40 million plus. So I don't think financially has
That
no
contributes to your desire. Exactly right.
Afghanistan is trying to develop Test
They're
cricket.
trying their best. Yeah, they're trying their best. They've got good support from ICC. Their coaching staff is getting
Well,
paid
Adam
well.
Hollier, who's we've had on our show, was actually coaching them at one stage. Amazing. I don't think. Okay, let's go through. I think Liam Guthrie's next Mitchell Stark. Well, I don't.
We'll see.
I was very impressed with the way Dinesh Karthik. Yeah, he's a revelation, absolute revelation.
Fantastic story. They said they put an article when Karthik made his debut. He was still playing with likes of Dhoni, Tendulkar, and all that, and now he scored his first international T20 50. It's a good story.
Yeah. Kunal Nagati, the first time we made a comment, is that as an echo. Well, it's good to see you. Even the new Western Australian statement from the original. Okay,
Exactly
absolutely.
Right. That just proves my point.
Absolutely. The Fremantle doctor is very much the case at the old whacker. Why opposing him as a successful flank? I don't know. That's an interesting question. But that is understanding the mentality.
Yeah, I agree, Steve, with Clark's retirement to back injury and whatnot. A lot of players have carried on with niggles and injuries, and they do carry on with the problem. Clark actually said that in one of the interviews after his retirement, that his desire to compete at that level was not there. So he was dragging himself. When your desire is gone, all these niggles and injuries take over your mental strength as well, and you're not really preparing yourself to get over those injuries, and you motivate yourself to go out and compete. So as soon as that Ashes was done, Clarkey was done. He said that in his interview, that his motivation was not there at all to compete. Similar to Gilchrist, he started to see. Remember, he dropped a couple of catches. He came out. He said, "Look, I'm not at that level that I was." Even though he's just played 96 Test matches, another 4 Test matches, he could have had a milestone. But he said, if I would drag myself to play another 4 Test matches just to achieve that 100 Test mark, that's not fair for the next keeper. So he retired himself. Players in Australia do that. I know a lot of subcontinent players don't. They drag as long as they can. We're here in Australia. The tradition is once you see your desire is done. Mark Waugh was another example. He got dropped. He played for New South Wales, and then all of a sudden he said, "Look, I can't compete." Whereas his brother played for over 140 Test matches, 150 Test matches. So that's just it's just the nature and way we've seen here in Australia.
I mean, it is true. The reality is that Australians are, I would say, pound for pound. Sam Billings has got away keeping, I can see. Mm-hmm. For England, and Besto's on the field.
He'd be handy like order batter as well if they chase him.
Oh yeah,
50. He can hit big ball.
He'll be the perfect replacement. Interesting how we know why Ben Folkes is out. But had he been performing badly, could they have concocted his situation? I'm not saying.
I would like to see him come back again. I don't want this to be Ben Folkes' end of.
No, it won't.
I think he's done well enough in this series. With gloves, he's been very tidy and very handy with the bat as well. So I would hate to see him given the door and Sam Billings being the first choice keeper. I think Ben Folkes is definitely number one with the gloves. He's very, very tidy behind the stumps.
Well, Sam Billings is shaken and tackling into Japan, and McCullum's when McCullum's having clubbing on the sides. Interesting. He's turned up he just turned up to the ground like, "Hi guys, I think I might play today."
Yeah, true.
Hilarious with his bag and everything. He's literally just right before the match. Wasn't there overnight?
No.
Okay, Muncie Folkes is a better keeper. Certainly is. The answer is about. He states that as a dice to watch. But I agree with
Yeah, true. Look, I personally, Munchie, I'd like to see Jimmy Anderson bowling to Aussie's next Ashes because look, his skills are still, he's fit, he still drives that motivation into the bowling attack. I would love for him to play till next Ashes. It'd be excellent.
Okay, the Masters and Sebastian. Who was Australia's next ODI opening partner? Let's wait and see.
Look, I'd like to see Ben McDermott in there. He's top order batter. He's been doing well for both his states and his 2020 franchise as well. I'd like to see him top of the order tested. And then obviously you could go with what are the keeper batters to open. Inglis is another one who's opening the batting for WA in white ball cricket as well. So that could be your next opening batters. And they like him. He's already in the minds of Aussie selectors. They like Inglis.
Well, they're ready. They're ready to go.
They're ready to go.
Okay, the Masters is after that.
Australia, India, Pakistan, New Zealand.
I think England.
England, yeah, good choice.
Not New Zealand. My favourite girl, he took the wicket. I was my favourite moment of IPL, Brendan McCullum's first pick, whatever he got, 100. That still sits with me as being what a start to talk.
My best moment was when we won the first IPL, 2008, 146, and Shane Warne hitting that winning score. It still gives me goosebumps when I see the footage or photos or whatnot. We were out and done. 146 in 2008 was a big score to chase. And it was in Mumbai. We were in Mumbai, and 146 halftime. We were thinking, "Oh shit, that's a big score." And then Shane Warne magically with Suhail Tanvir finishing the game off it just still gives me goosebumps.
So Warne,
yeah, Shane Warne and Suhail Tanvir were at the pitch. So I don't think anyone from the back room was left behind. We were all on the field, and who knows who was hugging who, and it was just amazing.
Folks, there's a bit of keeping. Breaking news just happening in the why is it? Okay, he's not playing. Not happening in the Indian match.
I think we've spoken enough of captaincy. Good luck to him. I'm not knocking him back. I'm just saying that statistically, fast bowlers haven't been very successful. Who knows? He could be the one.
I'm going to put this up very quickly.
What are you doing?
Someone's just
spamming you.
Did you see Cameron Green? Actually, I take that as a compliment. When someone's spamming you with sex stuff, it's usually because they think you're worth spamming.
Look, I see Cameron Green being next Shane Watson. Shane Watson was a very successful. I mean, Australia always try to find Ian Botham, Flintoff, strokes like an all-rounder. We haven't been successful. Watson was somehow very probably a bit of successful all-rounder in that spot. I see Cam Green playing that role, but Steve Smith, I doubt it.
So England played three. I would like to watch that.
Absolutely, and that would be a good series. England going to Pakistan after a long time, like Australia did, and why not play to your strength, play to your conditions. Don't try and make out of character conditions to mirror.
I made a mistake. Block the wrong person. Damn, how do I unblock something?
No idea.
Comments, please. I've actually blocked Mansour Rahela. I didn't want to do.
Why?
How do I unblock
My best Gilchrist moment was his 100 in Perth when he smashed the opposition in no time. That was his. That was Gilchrist at his best.
How do I having issues? How do I unblock edits? No, there's no can't do that. Settings. Audio front camera. General. Guests. Layer. What have I done here? How do anyone tell me how bloody hell? The band, Himanshu Rahela will be fuming. Himanshu, I have not banned you. I tried to hit that other sex one. For some reason, yours come up. Banners, brand. When do I? No, that's all right. Doesn't matter. Himanshu, I haven't banned you. Okay? So I have to go find out how to unban someone. How do I do?
So the game's moving forward with Blundell taking on Potts.
Yeah, they're going along nicely.
They're going along nicely. The lead is now 145. I'm afraid that they need another 150 at least. Now Billing is in there. He can play that attacking form of cricket as well. So 300 at least they need to get some respectability in the chase. So there's still plenty of time left in the game.
Oh, look, with these two, it's exciting. I'm going to work out how to.
At this point in time, Subhash, I think McDermott is better suited. Josh Philippi for a shortest format, 2020. I would still say Philippi for another year or two, continue to play first-class cricket, and the one-day domestic. There was a talk about him moving to New South Wales as well because WA were not giving him the opportunities because him and Inglis both play for WA. So there was a great push for New South Wales, especially when Philippi is playing for Sixers as well. There was a push for him to come to New South Wales and play for New South Wales rather than for WA. So let's see what happens in next year or two, whether he stays in because you both are keepers, they're both the top order batters, and Inglis have got the better choice at the moment. So let's see what happens.
I'm just wondering. Buckle done. Remember 2019, yes? Well, David was meant to be here. He's just not made it. So he'll be here. He's very happy.
I'm sure he's enjoying it.
Off to raid. Let's catch you guys. I've been off to raid the chocolate.
Get well soon. We hope we'll see you in this program after England's 3-0 win.
So Jason Stanger has not fallen off the radar at all.
They still rate him quite highly. As the conversations goes on, I think he will be more and more spoken about.
So how do I? I'm still saying Himanshu Rahela was blocked. Okay, how do I unblock? Damn it! I probably need a full-on computer. Oh, this is an iPad. Anyway, work it out. All right. I don't like. He's a good comment. He likes to make his comments, so I'm a bit disturbed by that. I'll work it out after the show. But Himanshu, don't give up. Yeah, I don't think I've blocked him from the chat. I haven't blocked him from the channel.
Yeah.
So that's a different story. So he should once this one. I'm assuming when this video is over, he's either unblocked or what. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah. All
right. Okay. So our favourite Adam Gilchrist best moment. Okay. I saw the time when he hit that century and had the squash ball in his hand.
That's right. That's the World Cup final.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
There were so many Adam Gilchrist moments. It's not funny. You really can't pin it down to just one. That's for sure.
That's true. Incredible
cricketer. Probably will go down as the world's best ever wicketkeeper batsman.
Look, he changed the nature of. Look, I think Kalu Rana started it. The keeper, attacker, batter, and with Gloveman, but I think Gilchrist took it to the next level.
Yeah. So I don't think there's an issue there at all. Yeah, plus he has one of the best personalities of a person I've ever met. You get into a lift with Adam Gilchrist, you sit there quietly, he'll start talking to you.
to have a conversation. He's very down to earth. Another mellow person, like we were talking about MS Dhoni, how mellow he's been throughout his career, whereas he's been at top of the Indian cricket. He's won all the trophies that he could. Like he's won IPL, he's won Champions Trophy, he's won World Cup, he's won World 2020 Cup. He's won everything. But he's such a humble and mellow person. And I think Gilchrist, when I come across him, he's similar character. He's very down to earth and level-headed person.
It's probably why he's as good a player as he was.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
There must be something about that you relate to a person based on every aspect of them. I'm just while we're talking, I'm just going to check the settings. General order, trying to finish locations. I'm just trying to find where we can live chat about upload background.
Whether he can
Connect apps to their quality. Try new features of autoplay. Nothing tells me about bloody.
Yeah, I think if you start new chat or your new program, you could join. That's probably my thinking, but
because I blocked it from the chat, not
from the chat. Yeah.
Because it says here, start and put a user on timeout, block user. It just does say block user, doesn't say block from chat. So wait and start. Sorry, I'm a bit disturbed by it. I don't like doing that.
No, that's fair.
All right. So, okay. But Norman Mosen, Jason saying it's still having it as 28. Probably.
I agree. The thing is that he's been doing well. His first year or two, he scored 100 when he first came on board, and then he dropped off. And then he gone back. He didn't play another Shield game 2 years ago. So he was not getting looked at. So then he's probably gone back, worked a lot in his batting, and if you see him the way he played 2020, the way he approached second half last season as well, he's got that batting love back, and that's where selectors started to talk about him again. 2 years ago when England, not last Ashes, Ashes before when England toured, he scored 100 against the England team, full attack in Coffs Harbour as well. So he's had that.
And against Sri Lanka and against Pakistan.
Exactly. He had that brilliance, but he had a lot of failures as well. That's why his average is not reflecting what his talent is. But last year, he's been at top of his game, and that's why I like him to continue on that path and being considered.
Now, my thoughts are, I would take him as soon as necessary. Why? Because he will perform at that best level. He's got the ability to play well at test level, and we already see that, having captained the World Cup under 19s, touring England sides. That's what I'm getting. He's showing me the Shield level.
He's a good leader. Believe me or not, he's a really good leader. When he's captaining youth sides and whatnot, and Aussie A side, I did one series.
And Rami,
he's a fantastic leader. He's got really good head, good cricketing head. That's why he was made captain last year with Thunder. When Thunder got hit with injuries and COVID and whatnot, the first choice was Sangha being a captain, and he did really well with Thunder. And that's why I like to see him being groomed, being the next captain, the next Aussie captain. There's no doubt that he can lead.
Yep. Totally agree. And you and I know him well, so I think that's the difference. I have a lot of time for him.
I have a lot
and
of time.
I know that he's got panache. He's VVS Lux, Greg Chappell mixed together.
Very, very elegant. I was trying to get him to play T20 here in Brisbane this year. He's thinking about it. So if you can get him to come in here and play a few T20 games, that'd be handy.
Yeah, but he excels in the cricket New South Wales system, which is the hardest system. Says it all, in my opinion.
He's the hardest one to break in. You see a lot of New South Wales guys go elsewhere and play, like for Tassie, WA, and for Victoria as well. Whereas keeping yourself in that mold, in that New South Wales 11 is really hard.
Yeah. And I'll repeat, Himanshu, I did not block you deliberately.
You owe him.
Because he will be fuming.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be.
I make comment, but I do love his commentary. I want to get rid of that other one that was on it. Your favourite 100, a favourite 100 amongst Pontins 140. India. I just don't think
100 against India World Cup final stage doesn't get any bigger than that, especially when you're playing against India. I think that was out of the ones you've listed. I think Ponting's 100 was probably the best.
Yeah. Anything the girl versus Ponting did was pretty bloody good too. Pretty hard to single out one or the other. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So New Zealand is 176.
Moving along well. I don't think they'll dominate English bowling. They'll continue to play, and their scoring run rate has never gone above 3.5 at best. 3 runs currently, whereas England at times was scoring at 5 runs and over. So 60 over mark, they were 300. So New Zealand will just continue to play this game, try and tire the bowlers out. But you got to remember, England have got a better balanced bowling attack. They've got good balance amongst them, 4 quicks, and then you got spinner as well. So they'll still have options available, whereas New Zealand ran out of options really quickly. So that advantage will sit with England.
Yep. I'm Googling, how do you unblock someone on YouTube? On YouTube. No, it's not showing me YouTube.
No, it's hard. I don't know how your channel where you stream one might be able to tell you.
I've done it before. YouTube. Okay, I got my account. Google blockers. I'll do that. I know how to do it.
Nice.
All right.
Norman, I'm just gonna push off, mate. I enjoyed another show with you and your audience. Fantastic. I would love to catch up with you another time.
Anytime.
Send us the link for tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much, Norman.
Thank Moses as well, guys. Ciao.
Talk to you. Bye.
Okay, pick your favourite to win the 5th Test between India and England right now. Moses would say probably England, and I will too. At the current rate of form, you'd have to say it. I think BCCI couldn't do more to develop hype. Yeah, I would agree. Countries like Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Netherlands, Ireland, Scotland, Kenya. Yes, I totally agree, Buckle. Absolutely, totally agree. And let me, guys, just get this. I need to get this. My Google. I need to go to my Google block list. Okay, I'll just. No, it's not working. No, I have to do another phone. All right. How are you? Hello, Ashalam McCall. How are you? I'm very good. I'm just going to go, guys, just quickly to just sort this out. I'm just trying to find out how to unplug. What was it again? My bye-bye, Subrush. Where are you going? What was the account? My account. block list. Not blacklist. All right. Let's just see what's going on here. So how do you unblock? You unblock someone on YouTube. Okay, so we've got to go into their channel. I see now. Himanshu Ruhela. There's several Himanshu Ruhelas. There are several Himanshu Ruhelas. All right. How many Himanshu Ruhelas can we have? He's not blocked. It doesn't look like either Himanshu Ruhelas are actually blocked. Okay. 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 All right. This game's looking exciting in the first one. Blues leader for now. Be an exciting finish. Well, there you go. Breaking news: Pakistan, Bangladesh, New Zealand will play T20 trial organizations soon. Okay, good stuff, Army. That's a good breaking news. Been impressed with Jamie Overton. Good place, more than handy with bat. What took him so long to come in? Good question. I don't know. I think there was a bit of form that was out there for a while. Settings. Okay. So we're going to go to settings. Here we go, settings. Where's it? So it's the settings. I go to. I haven't got a block profile. Purchase general auto. Try new features of air qualifier. Connect. Okay. Oh, okay. Should I send you a link on Insta? Yes. Yes. Your favourite cricket player? Arsenal. My favourite, all-time Bradman, probably. Tendog was right up there as well. No doubt about that. All right, guys. We've gone for an hour and 23 minutes. Just trying to see where we're at with this whole thing. Let's go there. The live preview there. I'm just doing a few bit of checking, guys. Day 4. Okay. There it is there. All right. Mitchell could do the same thing Steve Smith. Well, that would be great, wouldn't it? Buckadella, that would be absolutely fantastic. Let's be honest. That would be a great thing to have happen. It would be a great thing to have happen. Okay, let's just. All right, what is one of my favourite cricket biographies? Viv Richards for sure. Viv, which is one of the best things. Hello, Nanda Kishore Karupala. How are you? I'm just trying to work out where. Well, we have to work out where Amansha Rahela. Player is Kahil Rahul. I would agree with that. I would agree with that too. All right, we're going on to what's the score here? Nanda, okay, Ponga sums up it up. Oh, there we go. Now, ICC World Test Championship is showing that now Australia's on top of 75, 22 points. South Africa 60, India 77. I don't know how this all works. Sri Lanka 40, Pakistan 44, West Indies 42, New Zealand, England. So effectively, New Zealand and England are wallowing at the bottom. Australia, South Africa, India are the top three still. Mitchell slowly getting runs. I hope New Zealand can somehow win this. It'll be a big shock. I've seen the link. Okay, I'm just trying to see this. Have you watched any of the Cricket Raz English videos? No, I haven't, Buckle. What's that? I don't know what that is. Okay. Well, if they're going to do that, they're going to go to the World Cup straight after that, aren't they? So it's going to be just leading into it. I'm assuming this is correct. I'm going to post it. Okay. I'm going to post this. Well, better be right. I'm going to post it there. I'm in Raza. So I'm just posting it now for you. So here we go. New Zealand won the match tomorrow. We'll win the match tomorrow, I reckon. Okay. Let's see. Let's just see. Now, guys, I need another 30 or 40 subscribers, and I can be able to sit pretty on a nice situation there. So let's go. All right, so we're going to leave now. So I hope you enjoy the show. Watch more later. We'll hopefully have some better, well, not better, but we'll have more games happening with West Indies and Bangladesh. Then, of course, we're going to have West Indies, Bangladesh. We're going to have India versus Ireland, letting India to play against England. Huge that will be. And we'll have a great time. So, last comment, Ahmed. Okay. What do you want? What do you want to say? I'm trying to find out Amantra Bahela. We've lost him. Okay. All the best, guys. We'll take care. Talk to each other soon. Thanks to the stream. Thanks, Buckle Data. We'll talk soon, okay? My favourite country, well, Australia, obviously, but I like all countries, either subcontinent in particular. All right? Talk to you soon.